Hey y'all, welcome to Craftable Things. I'm Patrice, and today I am going to be walking you all through my process for printing DTF transfers. Alright y'all, so a friend of mine contacted me and asked me to print her out some DTF transfers, and so that's what we're going to be doing today. So we have to actually design the transfer. So we're going to be using Adobe Illustrator to design, and then we are going to upload it into CADlink, which is the RIP software to print DTF images out so that we can use that white ink. All right, so I'm going to walk you all through the process that I use when I'm printing out my own transfers and let y'all see exactly how many steps it takes to actually get a DTF print done. So for those of you who may be about to ask or may send me an email, no, I'm so sorry, I do not make and sell transfers. However, I do know two amazing companies that do. These teas and things, a link will be listed below in the description for some transfers from them, or Pink Teas and Things. They also make amazing transfers, and they have the capability of printing transfers in abundance. All right, so let's get started because we just need to get started. Now we're in Adobe Illustrator and we're going to design an image. My friend sent me a picture of what she wanted, and now we are designing it from scratch. So I am going to head over to Adobe Stock, and I do have a subscription for all of the Adobe Suite, the Creative Cloud Suite, I believe it's called. And so I get 10 free assets each month, and I just let them accumulate. So let's go over and see what they have available that we could use for this design. And I'm just going to look for women with glasses, and I want to look for an SVG specifically. And so this is how I'm doing it. We're going to look inside of Stock, and it took me to the website for the Adobe Stock catalog, and this is what came up. There's different items that came up, not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for sunglasses or eyeglasses. And so I'm going to need to change my search so that I can find exactly what it is that I'm looking for. And so I'm just going to put eyeglasses. That's all I want. And now this is looking good. So I do see some that I want. And with Adobe Stock, you want to make sure you're getting everything you can with your purchase or with your license. And so this particular file has tons of eyewear, and I think I want to use that because in the future I may need to use some other eyeglasses, and I don't just want to pick one that just has one file or one image. So this looks good. There's a variety, and so I am going to go ahead and download this or select license, and now I'm licensed to use it. You do want to check the file type, and this one is for Adobe Illustrator. You can get PNG, SVG, but you just want to check and make sure that it's a file that you know how to use. And so this is everything we have. I'm going to select the two eyewears that I want to use. She wanted a male and female type of eyeglass, and so those are the two that I picked. And so now we're just going to get ready to start customizing and making our design. So I'm going to start by putting some text, and this couple is going to be going to Cancun. And so all I'm doing now is typing in the text, and I'm going to select the font that I want to use, and we are going to be using Gemstone, and Gemstone has two different fonts. It has a regular font or an outline font, and so I think that will be really nice to use for this particular design. So now I'm copying the word Cancun, and we are just going to use the regular font for this word, but I'm copying it so that the size could be exact and that it will fit inside of the outline. And so once we do that, we want to turn both of these words into shapes. And in order to turn it into shapes, we are going to have to select the word, and we need to create outlines. Once we create outlines, I'm going to go up to Object, and I'm going to expand that word. I'm then going to head over to our panel and select our Pathfinder options and unite all of that text so that it becomes one. I'm going to perform the same exact operations on the other word, Cancun. However, once we get ready to put it all together, I do need to make this a compound path for what I am going to do next with this design. All right, so everything looks like it's fitting perfectly. I absolutely love it. And so now I'm going to play around with the colors. I think I kind of want to go with the colors of the flag for Mexico. And so let's start off with green. So now I'm going to select the word Cancun, or at least the inset of the word Cancun, not the outline, and I want to make this a compound path. So I'm going to go up to Object, and then I'm going to select Compound Path and select the word Make. Now it's time to place the flag in the word Cancun, and I'm just going to go over to the left and select Draw Inside. It is that third button right there where the mouse is on top of, and once I do that, I am just going to go to Edit and select Paste. There's other ways that you could put it inside, but I had already copied it and we all only needed to do paste. And so now that I have it pasted inside of the word, now I am going to have to resize it so that it looks the way that I want it to look. So you can move it to the right or to the left. You can make it larger or smaller, however you want to do, but it's going to always stay inside of the word Cancun or whatever word that you choose to do this for. And so now I'm just sizing it, and I want to make sure that the center of the flag is in the center of our word. And so I'm trying to make sure that N and that C has the center of the flag. And so I'm just going to move it around. So when we selected when we made it into a compound path, this is how we're able to do that. And so that is why I selected each individual letter and I made it into one shape. So Adobe Illustrator reads it as one shape once something is set as a compound path. And so everything is looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and continue to just play around with this and resize it. And I'm pretty happy with it. I actually like it. So let's get ready and move forward and complete the rest of our design. Now my only issue is the outline. I don't really like that green on the outline. I think I'm going to maybe go with the black or white. Probably black will look better as an outline as opposed to the green. So I'm going to select the outline and then I'm just going to select black. And yeah, that's looking a lot better. So now I'm inside of Creative Fabrica, and if you need an all-access membership to all of these amazing files on Creative Fabrica, a link will be listed below in the description. But as you see, they have tons of glasses that we could have used as well. And right now, I'm just looking for something to go inside of the glasses. So I'm looking for like a silhouette of a beach, and they never disappoint me. They have so many options to choose from. And so I am going to select one and we are going to head back over to Adobe Illustrator. So now we're inside of Adobe Illustrator. This is the file that I want, but y'all, I don't want the circle around it. So I'm going to have to either erase it. And as you guys saw on the left, I chose the eraser tool and I just started erasing, but I don't want to have to do all of that. So I'm going to go over and select the knife tool, and this is going to allow me to slice the parts of the design that I don't want. And it's so easy, y'all, to do it this way. Once you slice it, you select the part that you slice, and then you just go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the rest of this image so that I can place it inside of my shades on the other page. All right, so I just copied that image and I'm going to click onto Draw Inside, and to do that I clicked over onto the left and I'm doing Draw Inside, and I'm placing that image inside of the shades, but I need to turn the image white so that we can see it. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and resize it so that it fits perfectly into those lens, and I love how this is looking. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side so that way it matches, and I think it's gonna look good like that. So let's go ahead. I need to turn those insides black because I want that to look like some trees. Like if it weren't, it wouldn't look like the trees. So everything is looking good, And now we are ready to proceed and get the rest of our design done. So I went ahead and finished the bottom design for the wife's image. And so now we're just gonna go ahead and type some text to go above the shades. And they want it to say vacation. So we're just typing in the words, and I'm gonna go ahead and start changing up that text. And I'm just gonna head over to the properties panel and kind of scroll through a few different texts, and this is the text that I like. I think this looks very vacation-y, I think. I don't know, maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. But we're gonna go ahead and change the word bay, and we're gonna make that into the artist font, which is one of my favorite cursive fonts or script fonts. And so everything is looking good right now. I just need to go ahead and turn all of these into shapes, and that way I could go ahead and reduce or remove the V and the A. And now we are going to, ooh, that I looks a little strange, so I need to go ahead and select that I and kind of resize it a little bit so that it can go better with what it is that we're trying to do. And that N, I'm just going to reduce that N. That's what happens when you turn your letters or words into outlines or into shapes. You can kind of adjust each individual letter however you like. So right now we're going to just go ahead, resize the word bay, and maybe slant it, maybe give it a little bit of pizzazz. And we also want to turn that into a shape as well. So that's what we're doing, and now I'm just going to kind of slant it, and it's looking good so far. I think I'm liking how it's looking. I do want to go ahead and change the color, and so we are going to change this color to like an orange to kind of still stay within the green, white, and orange theme of the flag. And I'm liking how this is looking, but I do want to do something a little bit different. I do want to maybe do something else to it. So we're going to go to stylize, and we're going to add a drop shadow. So I do want to do a drop shadow, and we're going to put the drop shadow in green, and that way we kind of have like that same color theme going on, and it kind of adds a little more life to our design. And so that's what we're doing now. And y'all, it's looking pretty good. I'm loving how it's looking, and we're all done. This is our design. We have a his and hers Cancun vacation shirt, and I love it. So both of the designs are done, and I just wanted to show you guys because I did separate them to two different pages, because when I save this, I'm going to save it as the exact size. So because I did it as a 13 by 19, I know exactly how it will print when I upload it into CATLink. And so what I did here is I need to print out another design for another couple who's going to Jamaica. And so instead of wasting the rest of that page, I'm just going to put part of the image on this one, and then I'll cut it when I get ready to send. And the reason why I chose this particular image to put onto this page is so that when you upload into CATLink, you're going to lose about 2 inches of that printing space at the bottom. So really, I'm printing like a 12.5 by 17. So that's what I always have to take into consideration when I am printing, because I remove the rollers from my printer. So let's get ready to save this, and we are going to save this as a PNG file. And so I'm just going to go up to File. We're going to export this as a PNG, and I'm just going to say Island 1, and we have it selected as a PNG file. We're going to select export. And now in Adobe Illustrator, it gives me the option, do I want a transparent background, a white background, or black background? If you're uploading this into CATLink, you definitely want a transparent background, because if not, the white background will print. So we're just going to click transparent background, and I'm going to select OK. And I'm going to do that for the next page as well. All right, so we're going to meet up again inside of CATLink. A RIP software is 100% mandatory if you want to do DTF printing, and I use CATLink. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and upload my designs into CATLink, and we are going to get ready to print them out. All right, so I've never changed any of my settings inside of CATLink. Everything that I've printed has come out perfectly, and it's pretty much the settings that when you download CATLink, these are the settings that I'm using. So right now I'm just making sure that my size is correct, my ink order is correct. That's based off of the ink layout in the actual printer, and everything is as it should be. My file is mirrored, and so I'm pretty much ready to go. So all I need to do now is go up to the image and select print, and this is going to start printing on our printer. For today's print, I am using Ghost, my Epson Eco-Tank 8550. In addition, I will be using Big Boy Prints ink as well as film that he sells on his website. A link will be listed below in the description so that you too can have the most amazing ink ever. So I always have really good results with Big Boy Print ink and with this film. Alright, so we're just going to wait for this to continue printing out, but look at those colors, y'all. Everything is going well today in DTF land, and let me just let y'all know, everything does not always go well in DTF land, but for today, we are pretty happy with the results that we're getting, and our printer is just printing away. We're done printing our image, and now it's time to apply the adhesive powder. And so I just like to keep it flat because sometimes that ink can drip and I don't want that. And so I'm just applying the adhesive powder all over the image, and then I am going to kind of coat the entire image and remove the excess adhesive powder. Now I should have on gloves. While doing this, you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself and have on gloves, and also some type of mask so that you're not inhaling all of the fumes, especially once we put it into our convection oven. But right now I'm just shaking off all of that powder that we don't need, because the powder that we need, y'all, it's stuck to that ink. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut our image apart, the parts that, because remember we had two separate images, and you want to be careful because this is still wet. All right, it's not going to be dry until we place it inside of the convection oven. But y'all, this looks pretty good. I love how it turned out. Those colors look amazing. I told y'all about that ink and those settings that I never change. I'm using the default CATLink settings. So today we're going to be curing this inside of my Hamilton Beach rotisserie oven. It's an extra large, and typically I have multiple racks in there, but today I just have one, and it only takes about 20 seconds at 320 degrees to get this nice and cured. And y'all, look at this. This is perfection. This is cured beautifully, and this is what you want to see. You want to see an orange peel or an alligator skin type of look when you are curing your DTF print. So I'm really happy about that. And this looks amazing. I love the colors and how everything turned out. Now I put this on my table, but you don't want to put that backing on anything else. So make sure you have some parchment paper handy so that, you know, you don't want anything to get onto your print. All right, so everything is all set. Everything is done. This is the image that we need to mail out, and I do have some parchment papers in between each of the prints, so none of those backings are touching anything else. And I'm going to get ready and place this inside of this photo mailer. And yeah, I mean, you could put some cardboard in there too to make sure that it doesn't like slip and slide inside of the envelope, but this is fitting perfectly in the envelope, and we're all set. All right, y'all. So we're all done with making these transfers that I need to send out tomorrow. You guys went through the whole process with me, designing, printing, curing, and packaging, and everything pretty much turned out the way that I expected it to. With packaging, if you decide you want to get into the transfer business, you want to make sure that your prints are stable, that they can't bend. You also want to make sure that you have some moisture packs inside. DTF prints can begin to sweat and get wet, so those moisture packs will definitely help you out, because guess what? While these are traveling, they're traveling in the elements. So you want to make sure that nothing happens to your prints on its way to the customers. But I still don't recommend doing DTF transfers with the 8550, not to sell. I prefer to do it for my own personal business and also for my personal items, because the 8550 is definitely not a printer that can sustain that type of wear and tear and the demand of the transfer business. I just don't think that. Yeah, no. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join Craftable Things there as well. But that's going to be it for today, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.